appears to be another deranged leftist shot up another Texas ICE facility that last month was also the subject of a bomb threat. Now, Kash Patel released the pictures of the anti-ICE rhetoric on the bullet, killing one illegal detainee and injuring two more, ironically enough, while also riddling the building with bullet holes, then turning the gun around on himself and shooting himself in the face. I mean, like, spare me the liberal talking points on where the most political violence is on the right. No, because we have now reset the clock again to 0 days without left-wing violence. And I think VP Vance said what needed to be said.
But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Yeah, Ted Cruz also firmly said this has got to stop. But sadly, and look, I'm just speaking based on track records here, it's probably not going to stop. The left has been fomenting this since Trump's first term. They've been making an entire generation, for what is now the bulk of their adult life, believe that Trump is like somehow terrible. And I'm not sugarcoating this. The left is responsible for this violence.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Fascism.
Fascist.
Racist nationalism.
Fascist dictatorship.
Rise of fascism.
Fascist dictator.
Fascism.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
I'll say it again. Combine that narrative with jamming all these kids full of SSRIs, perpetual victimhood, and hearing stuff like this. I mean, what did Beto O'Rourke say?
What if instead of fighting back, we fight through this, we fight forward, like a boxer moving off the back foot and onto his front foot, going from defense to offense, taking this fight to every county in the state of Texas?
These people think that if they don't fight, these people who've been indoctrinated them, that they're going to, somehow go on the offense, or they're going to lose their rights.
But collectively, they are taking away Americans' rights and making life more difficult to live in this country.
They're not, but they're also being told the world's going to end too.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
So, I mean, one could see how someone who gobbles up this narrative might say, hey, look, I got nothing to lose. Hey, Trump is Hitler. I'm going to die in 10 years anyway from climate change. So why not kill Trump's ICE agents that I'm being told are Nazis that are hunting people before they take my rights? I mean, that's what's going on in these people's heads. You and I think this is crazy because we're sane human beings, but the people who do these things are not sane, and they're still walking around being able to carry out this stuff because the same left that has made it socially unacceptable to say anything bad about anybody in their protected groups. Libs don't believe in consequences, and if someone appears crazy, you're not allowed to say anything because that person's a victim and you are the bully for simply identifying that this person might be crazy enough to shoot someone. And then the left is giving speeches about toning down the rhetoric, like Hillary did today.
We have got to stop demonizing each other.
Okay, and then she went around to demonize Republicans. They turn around and they continue to call us fascists and Nazis. Look, it's their party who's posting 8647 on their social media. It's their party that's posting stupid tweets like this, where they say, white male has reportedly open-fired immigrants at an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. We certainly have a problem in this country, a disgusting one. First off, dude, Brian Krasenstein, you are a white male. And this was, in fact, a deranged liberal shooting at an ICE facility, and he was so bad at shooting, he accidentally and ironically only hit illegal immigrants. By the way, the leader of the left-wing thought, which he claims to be, one of the Krasenstein brothers, those guys right there, they're doing anything they can to avoid the reality of this. He did the same thing after Charlie Kirk was shot, which shows me their side hasn't learned anything. They have no issue with this type of violence because they won't even admit the source of it. The only side talking about the actual solutions is our side.
If you want to stop political violence, stop telling your supporters that everybody who disagrees with you is a Nazi. If you want to stop political violence, look in the mirror. That's the way that we stop political violence in this country, and we've got to do it.
Look, I don't know if that was the case with this guy, but it has been in the past that, ironically, the same stance from the same liberals that pass massive, unconstitutional, sweeping red flag laws in deep blue states, they never want to utilize any of those on anybody other than like fathers going through divorces with vindictive ex-wives and conservatives, but not on actual crazy people. Crazy people that were ideologically driven enough to use the irony of the fact that he climbed onto a roof of an immigration attorney's office, used a gun that was introduced in 1936 and issued to World War II soldiers for the primary purpose of killing Nazis. I wonder where he got that idea. With bullets, by the way, that had anti-ICE messages written on them, as you can see there. And then they saw, as late as 4 hours after the shooting, some prominent Democrats still out there, even after law enforcement told us exactly what this appeared to be, that, oh, well, we don't have a narrative still. You may not, but everyone else knows exactly what the motive was. But, and I'm not trying to make light of the situation here, the fact that this guy missed and only hit illegal immigrants and then killed himself is like the craziest failure of all. I also imagine this is now a very confusing day for the left. Do they defend the shooter who reportedly voted in the 2020 Democrat primary, registered Democrat, with the socialist, communist, liberal online presence, or do they defend the illegals that were shot? Which one ranks more on the oppressed category? I mean, do they? What? Oh, no, they just defaulted to gun control.
We need better laws on guns.
Even though this 100-year-old gun model would not have been restricted in any gun ban that has ever been proposed by any mainstream Democrat ever. When they don't want to blame the actual causes, they default to something else that they don't know anything about. This is not a game anymore. And what's it going to take for these guys to take this seriously? You have multiple attacks at the ICE facilities over the summer, one resulting in another agent getting shot, also in Texas. You had the same crazies getting arrested for attacking an ICE facility in Oregon last night. Last night, also, across the country, hundreds of these liberal politician-inspired lunatics slapping 2x4s together to sound like gunshots outside of a hotel where agents were staying in Boston. You have an elected Democrat right now who's currently charged with assaulting an ICE officer at a protest which she knowingly went to, and yet you still have high-profile Democrats encouraging this. Look, I struggle with this because I am a free speech absolutist. I also happen to think that two consenting adults should be legally able to fistfight if they want to over whatever they say. But when does it become inciting violence? Like, at what point do liberals calling ICE agents Gestapo officers not protected by free speech when they're getting shot by the party's supporters? And I think that the bigger concern is what happens when ICE agents, police officers, and federal officers decide, hey, look, I've got kids. It's not worth me rolling the dice when these people threaten me and spit in my face, and they start using lethal force more freely. How are those headlines going to read? Because that's what the left is pushing good men and women who are nervous about going to work every day who hold these roles. They're considering that. It's not their fault.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.